Hello, friends. A very good afternoon to all of you. I would like to welcome you all in our afternoon session every Saturday, 12 o'clock. In this session, we bring a lot of news, views, discussions, your opinions, your comments, our suggestions, as well as always, I try my level best to bring you the latest information about the real estate industry. As we all know, we are going through one of the biggest challenge in the history of mankind. There has been previous incidences of pandemic, uh, but I think the way this pandemic has changed the world, this will be a matter which will be recorded in the history absolutely in a different way. During this pandemic, especially in Canada, there was one thing which was holding the whole country, which was holding the whole economy, and which helped to keep the confidence of you, me, everybody, especially Canadians. The confidence level kept on a little higher note. And that one thing, if I have to identify, was the real estate market. I think everything was going in the negative direction, but real estate was one of the sector which was having a lot of positivity, a lot of growth, a lot of hope to all Canadians. At this point of time, the biggest question which is going in everybody's mind is there a bubble? Will this bubble burst? And wherever, whatever way we are communicating, either it is our clients, it's our friends, family circle, this is the most prominent question, I would say $1 million question, which is being asked repeatedly by every single individual. Will the market burst? Will the bubble burst? So today we are going to talk about this interesting topic. And I would request all of you, please make sure, keep putting your comments over there, keep asking questions. And I can see a couple of people already joined over there. I can see Kush Gupta. Kush, thank you for joining for today's session. Gurmeet is there. Pinakin is there. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for joining. And if there are more friends who are watching this live show for today, please, guys, don't hesitate to put your hello. Don't hesitate to put your questions. And if you have any comments, I would try my level best to make sure to address as many questions as we can. But I have brought a lot of material for you. I have brought a lot of data stats to share with you, which will give you an idea. Will the bubble burst? If you have the same question in your mind, please don't hesitate to put your question over there in the comments, and I will try my level best to give you some good logic with supportive data or my own personal opinion onto that. In our life as well, we always want to keep growing. We always want to keep moving forward. There's nothing wrong in it. But did you ever think what is going to happen if you reached at a peak? So once you reach at a peak, there's only one place to go after, and that place is to come down. But no, there could be another option. We can find out in another way, and we can look towards another peak in our life. But to achieve that peak, sometime, let's say you are on the tip of a mountain, and to reach to the other mountain, there could be a way. So you have to come a little bit down from there to ensure you find out the way to go up. And this is what I firmly believe in my life, guys. So don't get disappointed if after reaching on a peak, You have to just come a little bit down to find out another peak. There's nothing wrong in it. Don't get disappointed with the little failures in your life. I was talking to one of my colleagues yesterday, and we were actually discussing about some pre-construction things. So this gentleman told me, Mr. Raman, uh, I was trying to work on a project, and I put a couple of worksheets there, but I couldn't find any allocation on that particular project, and I stopped working on it. So I asked a simple question from him. I asked, one, did you ever get any accident in your life? Did you ever hit your car somewhere? And he said, yeah, a couple of times. And my question was, did you stop driving the car? Not really. So it doesn't happen that way. Yes, if you have not got success in anything, learn from it. But make sure, don't leave it. Don't leave it behind. You have to understand that these failures are not the failures. These failures are our learnings to tell us how we can get success. I have quoted this story a couple of times where Thomas Edison, the inventor of bulb, he failed 10,000 times before inventing the bulb. And his take was, I know 10,000 ways not to make the bulb. So guys, this is very, very important, especially like in today's world where we talk about a lot of entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship, you might have heard in many stories that this particular individual failed 4 times. And then 5th time he got success. So he had 4 failed ventures. What does that mean? Those were failed ventures? No, those were not the failed venture. Those were the learnings. With those learnings, this particular individual who got the success 5th time, he came to know that, okay, this is what I was supposed to do. And he got the success. So the same thing happened in your and my life. Don't get disappointed with your failure, especially to my realtor friends, guys. If you don't get the listing, don't get disappointed. Move on, go to another one. If you did a listing, you're not able to sell it, the listing got expired, that doesn't mean you should stop the real estate business. If you have a buyer, unfortunately the deal didn't happen, don't get disappointed with that. So please make sure, guys, learn from those failures. Those failures are there to bring the success to you. And those are not the failures. I call them experience. Experience is never negative, never positive. Experience is an experience. And the same way, feedback is feedback. It is never negative, never positive. So if you have any feedback for today's session, please don't hesitate to share with me. I'll be very happy. And I would also like to, I can see a couple of more people over here. I can see Mehtab Dilo, Shitul Patel, Arshani, Sheetal Sharma, Ashok, thank you very much. One of the most energetic team member under Save Max banner, Sheetal Malhotra, Sheetalji, thank you very much. Inderdeep, great guys. I can see a lot of people joining, so I'm pretty sure today's topic is going to be very, very interesting. But I think I forgot to send the link to a couple of my team members who are going to join us today. Give me 1 minute and I will definitely be back with all of you so that I can invite my guests as well for today's session. In the meanwhile, I would request all of you, Sachin and Kamal, if you are waiting for the link, if you are watching the session, please, I have already forwarded the link to you. And I would like to welcome you both for today's session. I can see Vineet Chaudhary. I can see Rabia Khan. Thank you very much, guys, for joining for today's session. So let's start our interesting discussion. Let's see what is happening in the market. So we are going to talk about very interesting topic. Daljit Sidhu, he wants to join. I think, Daljit, I'm not too sure if you want to join. I can definitely send you the link if you are interested to join for today's show. But I don't have your email. So if you can send me your email, I can forward you the link. So before we talk about today's interesting topic, let me welcome Kamal. Kamal, how are you?
I'm doing good, Raman. How are you?
I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can very much hear you.
I think I can hear you, but the problem was my volume was off. So how can I hear you? Uh, so Kamal, what's your take on today's topic? Can you hear me?
Something is getting repeated from your side, or
Oh, sorry. I was just actually trying to log on my phone. So Kamal, what do you think about today's topic?
it's very interesting. I would say it's. I mean, many people, I am sure, watching us really want to know, and something. I mean, maybe few things they may not like to hear, but yeah, it is there. So bubble is something which is going on from a very a long discussion with realtors or with entrepreneurs, the people who visit office. So that's one of the topic which we always discuss. So it's very interesting, and I think maybe an eye opener. Let's see. Even I don't know what you're going to talk about.
Don't worry. Whatever we talk about sense. We talk about the relevance. Okay. So let's see. So guys, let's start our interesting discussion about today's topic. But before that, I could hear a beep. So I think Sachin has joined us as well. Kamal, can you see the screen there? Can you see the screen with the topic over there? Will the bubble burst?
Yeah, I can see the your screen. Like I think that's one presentation.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So guys, I think this is $1 million question today, and everybody wants to know what is going to happen to the real estate market. Before we talk about it, let me take you to a couple of slides. First of all, let's talk about some of the factors. There are thousands of factors actually which bring crash in real estate market. But I want to talk about few of the relevant factors which brings crash in real estate market. The first and foremost is high supply and low demand. I'm pretty sure we all understand any market, any dynamics of the industry works on demand and supply. If the demand is low and the supply is high, it is a problem. Now, how much the demand should be and how much the supply should be for the real estate market. And in the past as well, I have talked about that particular numbers. So to have a very balanced market, when I say balanced market means there's enough inventory and there are enough buyers. We need to have at least 3 months inventory in the market. So let's say in one particular month, 10,000 houses get sold. So in my opinion, the inventory in between 25,000 to 30,000 houses is a good inventory for the market to have a balanced market. If the inventory goes at 4 months, it is of course a buyer's market. And if the inventory goes at 5 months, it is a problem. And in the same way, if the inventory comes at 2 months, that's a seller's market. And if inventory comes at 1 month, that is definitely a big seller's market. And there starts the multiple offer. And this is what was happening. The other important factor which brings crash in real estate market is high rate of interest. So if the interest keeps going high, as it happens 30, 40 years before, because I hear that from many of those people who were here in this country from last 40, 50 years, they tell the stories for that time when the rate of interest was 14, 15, 16, 18%. Whereas today's market, you all know, it's 1.5 to 2%. Low consumer confidence. This is very important. And I personally feel this is the most important factor. Let's say if everything is favorable, but the consumer confidence is not there, it is going to bring the crash in real estate markets. There could be an economic turmoil. The economy could be bad in general. GDP is going down. Jobs are being lost. So, and share market crash. Those are the other factors which can make a lot of impact on real estate market. And I have added this because this is the most recent challenge. Natural calamity like COVID-19 can also bring a crash in real estate markets. And of course, these are few of the relevant factors. There are multiple factors which plays an important role as far as the real estate market crash is concerned. Now, guys, let me take you back to the history. If I take you back in 2008 and 2009, where the whole world was under recession. So I will show you this data, and if you can see this red line right here, you can see this deep valley going there and then coming up. So this was the time in 2009 when, so this is the detached house pricing. You can see they really went down, and this blue line is the semi-detached, this green line is the townhouses, and this purple line, my coloring is very bad, but I'm still trying my level best to identify the right colors. And this purple or pink, whatever you say, this line is showing the condo market. So this was happening in 2008 and 2009 when pretty much whole world was under recession. You can see the biggest hit happened from little over 400,000, I would say somewhere on this point, around 410,000, the house prices came, the detached house prices came up to 300,000. So that was the biggest hit. But look at it, how fast they recovered. So this was a very, if I would say, like, this was a very narrow window where the prices went down and all of a sudden it started recover. So if you follow this graph and if you just forget about this rally, you can see the prices are continuously going up. And as I was telling you, to go to the next peak, sometime you have to come a little bit down and then go for another peak, then go for another peak. And this is what is the beauty of the Canadian real estate market. But if you see the semi-detached houses, the townhouses, and the condo prices did not fell down that drastically. And I'm pretty sure you all remember at that point of time in 2008 and 2009, whole world market was pretty much on a crash, except for the Canadian and except for especially GTA real estate market was the one which was holding the grounds, though there was a challenge, but that challenge was very small window, just for a short period of time. So this is what happened in 2008 and 2009. Now I'll show you the Canadian real estate prices, how it is going up. So this is the graph which you can see from 1918 up to 2010. So approximately 30 years. And you can see all this graph is going up, up, up with a very steady phase. And this rally, you can see this happened in 2008 and 2009. But if you see all other years, this is going on a pretty much very smooth ride. Of course, there are few incidences where the market is coming a little bit down, settling down, and then going up. But this is the only valley which you can see over there. Now I will take you to the Toronto home benchmark prices, which was up in 2018 and 2019. Now, who remembers what happened on April 2017? Now, you see this, the market was jumping up like anything for 5-6 months. It all started happening somewhere in the mid of 2016. And look at this beautiful mountain here, which actually came here on April 2017, where the average price was gone up by 920,791. And you can see this black line as well. So this black line is TREB composite benchmark sale prices, which was at 811,300. And this was Greater Toronto Area average sale price. It was 920,000. And you can see this steep hill, how the prices were going up. So guys, these things are not good for the market. These kind of steep hikes will always bring a chance the market to go down. And this is what happened. But here my point is, if you just forget about this steep hike, And if you follow the rest of the path and you make a line over here, you can see like it is going on a smooth ride. It goes up, settle down a little bit, again go up, settle down a little bit, again go up. So this is what the beauty I always admire about GTA market, especially that GTA market maintains a very beautiful balance of going up, settling down a little bit, again going up. But these kind of high peaks or these kind of valleys are always problem. So this is what happened in 2017. But again, in 2018, the market started recovering. Average price was pretty stable. So if you look at the average price here, which was in 2016, somewhere in May or June, it was close to 750,000. And when this 6 months passed, it again came back onto the same level. But it never went too much down from this. If you can see, this is maintaining a beautiful balance. Somewhere in December 2018, the average price is showing 765,000. December 2019, it was going on a very easy pace of 837,788. So this graph gives you a very good indication that how market was recovering from that steep hike and steep fall. Now let's look at when real estate crash was expected in 2017, market correction happened. And I will again take you, these are the prices in Canada's largest city, benchmark prices in Toronto. So you can see from 2009 and until 2016 mid, they were really going on a very steady pace, but all of a sudden, this peak came in 2017 and they settled down a little bit, and then again, it is having a smooth ride over here. So if you put your kid over here as in, the slide, from here, it will go a very smooth ride. And even on this side. But that gives you an idea. Now came 2020. One of the most interesting period in the real estate history. And if you go onto Google and do a little search, what CMHC predicted in March and April 2020. CMHC predicted that market is going to go down by 18%. When CMHC makes any prediction, there is no reason not to believe onto it. And this is what was happening. Everybody in my surrounding, radio, TV, newspaper, media, everybody was shouting, making a lot of hue and cry that market is going to crash. CMHC predicted market is going to come down by 18%. But at that point of time, there was one person, and I'll be very happy. You can go and find the recording on Y Media on ICCC seminar, where I predicted in the month of April 2020 that this market is going to bounce back in June 2020. And let me take you over there. So if you can see this valley here, this red valley here, so this was pretty much like in the month of March and April, where CMHC was predicting the market to come down, and it started jumping up in the month of June, exactly when I predicted. So this is the average price, and this is the MLS aggregate composite benchmark, the blue color. But we will focus on the average price, which you can see in the red color graph. Now, I was criticized. I was trolled on social media for my ridiculous comments. And everybody was calling me, texting me, and saying, Raman, do you really know the real estate market? Do you really understand what pandemic is? Do you really understand that we are going through one of the biggest challenge in the world? And I said, absolutely. I understand what you are saying, but I have my own logics to do the prediction. And of course, CMHC prediction was more authentic and relevant in consumer side. But I had my own logic to go against CMHC predictions. And my simple logic was, first of all, CMHC was predicting Canadian markets. I was predicting the market in GTA in general. GTA market has a totally different demographics. Look at it. In GTA is dominated by South Asian community as well as a lot of Chinese community. Now these two are the communities who are very strong, very rich as far as the cash reserves are concerned. These are the two communities which have a habit of saving, especially for a problematic time. I know there are a lot many people who belong to South Asian descent, and there are a lot many people who belong to Chinese descent. You know, back home in India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, all these countries, we have been taught to save some money for the tough time. There's always a reserve which is being maintained in every single household. Either there is any health problem, or it is any education issue for the kids, or it is any the new business or whatever. We have that habit. So that was one of the first and foremost reason which I had in my mind, that this particular area GTA has a stronghold of these two communities, and they will definitely survive this challenge. And the same thing happened. Not only that, GTA has a thought process where whenever these kind of challenge comes, investor community right away comes into play, and they always start looking for those deals where they could find out a steal of a deal. And I was getting a lot of calls from the investors who were like, Raman, let us know if somebody is scared of COVID-19 and they want to sell their house cheap. And those calls raised my confidence one more time. Now, based on my experience in the past, when we have gone through the recession of 2008 and 2009, and in 2017, I have observed that government played a very important role at that point of time. And the first and foremost thing they did was they brought the rate of interest down, which really helped to recoup the markets on a faster pace. And I was expecting the same is going to happen by the government, but the same did not happen. Government actually performed much more than what I personally expected. Not only they reduced the rate of interest, but they also started throwing a lot of cash in the market to every single individual. They started paying $2,000 as the serve. They started supporting the small businesses. They started giving them the wage subsidy. They started giving the rent relief. Provincial government came into picture. So all these were good signs that the cash flow of the economy is not going to stop. So that really fueled the fire in the market, and it helped the market to work on my prediction, where I said in June 2020 the market is going to recoup. Now look at it. Look at this steep hike here, after which was pretty much in the month of May, and the market started going up and up and up and up. And look, the pace the way it is going up, and this is somewhere in January 2021. We are sitting at such a high point that the average price. So let me take you back the statistics in March 2020 and April 2020. In March 2020, 8,012 houses got sold with an average price of 900,000. The average days on the market was 16. Average sales price to listing ratio was 104%. Average sold price of a fully detached home was close to 1.4 million, 65,000. Semi-detached, 1.1 million, 55,000 and change. And a condo was on an average price of 712,746. Came April, pandemic started hitting the market. Number of houses sold in GTA, less than 3,000. All home price, all of a sudden, from 900,000, it came to 820,000. Average days on market started going up. Average listing to sales ratio started coming down. Average sold price of detached home came down from 1.45, around 1.46 to 1.25. And average semi-detached price came close to 1.1 million. So this was a major shift in the market in March 2020 and April 2020. Within 1 month, everything started going downwards. And of course, I can very well understand the logic behind on based on which CMHC predicted the market, and every single individual was talking on social media. All the realtors, they were just like jumping the guns, and the market is going to crash, and the price is going to go down by 30%, 40%, and all these properties which you have bought for 700,000 going to sell for 450,000, 500,000, and all those kind of stories. But fortunately, I had a lot of confidence on the market based on my own judgments, and I'm happy that my predictions came true. And look where market is in March 2021. I have shown you the stats for March 2020, and just keep in mind 8,000 houses got sold in March 2020. Look what happened in March 2021. 15,652 properties got sold. This is up 97% as compared to last year, March 2020. 97%. And guys, as far as I remember, this 5,652 properties is the record in any particular month from when I started my real estate career. So I can guarantee you about the last 10 years. And as far as I can, this should be the case for last 30 to 40 years. The maximum number of properties sold in any particular month, 15,602. The good thing is there were a lot of new listings out there in the market. Approximately 22,700 houses came in the market as well. So that has raised the inventory level by 57.3%, because in March 2020, close to 14,434 houses came in the market. Now, average days on market has come down from 13 to 10, which is a dip of 23% on the good side, and average selling price has gone up from 902,000 to 1,097,565, 21.6% up. So this is the change in the market from March 2020 to March 2021. Now the biggest question, why real estate markets won't crash? Now I will take you back and I show you the statistics, a couple of things in 2008 and 2009. You can see this dip. Market went high, then it came down, it went up. It went up, it came down. Again, same thing happened in January 2017. Now, many people, and including me, I have that fear factor in mind too, that this is a very steep hike. Now, there's a good chances that market might come down from here. And this is what pretty much we all are thinking. So the biggest question is, will market crash? Now, before I share my thought process with you, I have shared all this data, all these statistics, and I would like to hear from you. I would like to get your opinion based on the facts and figures. What do you think? Market can crash or it can't crash? So let's go to that interesting discussion first of all, and then so Kamal, was it boring for you?
No, it's really interesting, and numbers is that something that always my favorite. So I see there is a lot of insight which has gone in this entire research, and uh, okay, I mean, I don't know what I would say that it won't crash or it will, but to this entire analysis, like there are a couple of factors what always bothers me, or when I talk to people, there is like factors like unemployment, factors like binge shopping, factors like they have played some role in this, the spike.
Yeah.
So if we are looking at some major crash, definitely, I mean, I don't see something very major happening, but with my limited knowledge is what something I can say, there might be some correction happening. Means that's what I could See, I mean, I could predict, right? Again, I am not into sales, these side of the things, but what I've been hearing from certain banks, the announcements, certain research companies, they are predicting and they are putting the base on certain unemployment thing, which is increasing, the numbers increasing. Uh, Maybe, something may come down for a little while, but yeah, that's what I can say here.
Yeah. Kamal, we will make this discussion more interesting, and I can see there are a lot of people actually who are putting comments and remarks over there. Guys, please, please don't hesitate to put your own thought process, and let's see how many people predict that the market is going to go down, and how many people predict. Let's do some voting there. Wouldn't that be interesting, Kamal? So, guys, whosoever is in favor of market to go high, let me see. Whosoever is in favor of market to go down, or just your prediction. Let's have something. Let's start counting the votes onto that. In the meantime, we get the vote. Let's invite Mr. Sachin Gupta as well, who have been hearing my discussion very patiently. Sachin, good afternoon to you. I can't hear you, Sachin.
Good afternoon, Raman. Good afternoon, Kamal.
Hi, Sachin.
And
Good
I
afternoon.
was hearing to all the discussions, all the numbers that we had for previous crashes and everything. Though technically there was no crash, but yes, when the way the market was behaving before, so it was very interesting data to see.
Yeah. So let's see, like lot many people are putting up the remarks there. Jagdeep is saying anything can happen. But Jagdeep, we are looking for specific vote. Either market will crash or it won't crash. Let's put your vote over there. Just say yes or no. Aju is saying no, it will never crash. It will limit just like the balloon of flush allows to stop the water overflow. Very good. Very good and not a very good comparable, Aju.
But what's the definition of crash, Raman? I just
Jaspir
want
is
to
saying
get
the market will never crash. Sachin, can you do me a favor in the meanwhile? I have somebody by the name of Mr. Daljit Sidhu, and he actually wants to join the live session with us. And I have put up his email there. If you can forward him the invite so that I can take him on the live show too, and I can take his opinion. By the time, let me look at the votes, what people are putting up
Can you
there.
put that email again, Raman? Because I cannot
Uh,
move messages.
okay, give me 1 second. His email is dsidhu1 at live.ca.
Is it
D
T
S
for
I D as in David, LIDHU,
yeah?
1 at live.ca. So, Diljit, if you're still there, don't hesitate. Just uh, click on the link. And yeah, I can see his comments over there. If interest rate goes up, prices will come down. Very relevant point, Diljit. I really appreciate that. Rick Niger is saying no crash, probably some kind of correction. Great input, Rick. Aju again is saying greater turbulence, adaptive GTA, a mechanism idea by SaveMax, and a synopsis of greater Toronto area. Uh, Market won't crash, maybe balance. So, Sachin, like, in general, if I see people are saying market will stabilize. Karambir, one of our another energetic team member, what I think is it will hold the same prices or a little bit downward, but it'll come up again with more than what it is by September or October. Thank you, Karambir, for your wonderful input over there. Gunjan, it won't crash, but maybe settle down a bit. So Gunjan is also supporting that market will not crash. Ah, I'm very impressed, Sachin. Like Rajan is saying, market won't crash. Uh, Parag is saying, in my view, low rise will get stagnant a bit for some time, but condo will pick up with the same offer presentation concept as it become more affordable for people. Nothing is going to crash. I'm really impressed. I'm really like, it shows there's a good consumer confidence over there. It will eventually come down, but never crash based on your statistics. That's by Gary. I can see Pritesh. Correction time. Pritesh is sounding a little bit like in favor of the market should crash. Ravi Godara is saying market won't crash. Ravi, I did not give you any of my, I would say, any of my verdict on it to be like, that either it will crash or it won't crash. I'm just was sharing the statistics, simple statistic. Let's see. We can see Jagdeep Singh. Market, my vote will not crash. Strong immigration, low mortgage rates, strong Canadian banks will not lead to crash. Very relevant points, Jagdeep. I really appreciate that. However, external factor can lead to crash. I would like to know what external factor you are thinking Jagdeep, this is an interesting discussion, and I'm so happy that a lot of people they are participating into this. Neeru is saying interest rate will impact market to stabilize, but Neeruji, interest rate are already rock bottom. It's only 1.5% interest rate. What could be better than that? Sachin, I'm really very impressed to see people's participation into this. Now let me come on to you. Where your vote goes, Kamal, where your vote goes.
So I just want to know, what do you mean by crash?
So crash is the price is going down by 20 to 30%. There's an inventory lying there in the market. There's no buyer who is buying the house. The rate of interest might go up. So in my definition of crash is that at least prices are going down by 20%. Am I right, Sachin?
That's right, Raman.
No, then I believe that if it is going to be less than 20%, that's what I think. That's something what I
But
could.
you still think it will go down?
Yeah, I think it will go down. Yeah.
Mehtab has put an interesting point over there. He's saying government will increase the interest rate for the buyer who buying the second property just to control the bubble, because it is hard for the newcomers to afford the property around GTA. Mehtab, bubble can never be controlled. If it is a bubble, it will burst. So the first question is really there is a bubble? Right? That is the most important question we should ask. Gokul is saying correction is a better word. Crash is used to scare people. Very relevant suggestion, Gokul. Really appreciate that. Mehtab is saying it's back to normal. Very, very relevant point. I'm very impressed with people's thought process, the way they are expressing their opinions onto this. And I think this is the hottest topic of today's market, especially real estate. Will market crash? Is there a bubble? Is it going to bust? What is going to happen in next 3 to 6 months? So, Sachin, what's your take onto this? Let's hear you.
So I'll go little. I would say little deep into that. When we're talking about crash, or the market would correct itself, or the market will go up and down, we discuss about the factors that that impact that crash, or the market. Yes, we talked about few factors which are very relevant. The first one is the interest rate. Everybody's talking about, what? Yes, interest rate goes high, that will impact the market. I just want to tell you that the Bank of Canada has already given their take that for next 2 years there is a good chances that they will keep the interest rate steady at what rate we have right now. So the chances of interest rate going up in next 2 years by end of 2023, as far as today is concerned, Bank of Canada is not in favor of that. So the chances are that we'll be carrying the same interest rate for approximately next 2 years. The second important factor, the unemployment rate, which is a very important factor which determines the pricing of the housing prices. When we were hit by the COVID last year, the unemployment rate in Canada that reaches to 13%, and then it came down to 5%. If the lockdown, if we do not have any more lockdowns, this unemployment rate is going to further improve, which means that we will have better employment. We will have people have more money to invest into the housing. They want to buy the houses. Third and very important factor for the Canadian market is the immigration. Definitely, in Canada, we bring people from all over the world. Canadian government and Ministry of Immigration has already said that in next 3 years they are going to bring 50% more people, which is amounting to approximately 1.3 million immigrants from all over the world in next 3 years. And those 1.3 million people, they need housing, they need houses to live, and they are coming up with a lot of money with them so that they can invest towards the real estate. And the fourth factor that I would say that that also impact the housing market is the rental rates. If the rental rates are up, investors definitely they have a positive cash flow. They can buy the houses, and their mortgage, their taxes can be taken care of by the rental. So if the rental rates are high, obviously investors, they will keep on investing into the real estate. So I feel that these are the four important factors that will determine the pricing of the real estate. And the way we see right now, all these four factors, they are supporting a good real estate market. They are supporting a market wherein the sentiments will be good for the any buyer or investor to invest into the real estate. interest rates are going to stay low, the unemployment rates are improving, the immigration is on all-time high going to be once we're coming out from the COVID, and when the right now the borders are sealed, right now we are not flying that much. So once the vaccination drive is done, people will start coming to Canada, things are going to change. So looking at all these factors, I feel that yes, there might be some stability into the real estate market, but the crash is out of question. The market is going to go up further by, I would say, staying stable for some time. That's what I can tell you.
Sachin, I have some of the interesting point which I wanted to definitely bring into the notice because I'm reading the comments and the most relevant and most beautiful comments I could see over here from the Gokul. It says, I think we need to solve the fundamental problem, the supply problem. GTA is almost run out of the land. Gokul, very relevant point, and I'm pretty sure you would like to know. And just because of this particular issue, what is happening is now GTA is not the only real estate market which is there in the surrounding. All the areas in the neighborhood of GTA, either it is going towards east, you go to Ajax, you go to Oshawa, you go to on the other west side, Kitchener, Waterloo, all these markets are booming like anything. London, so there are a lot many new markets, Niagara Falls, everything is all being developed.
Raman, one more factor which is, I would say, helping to grow the outside market grow is this, that because of the COVID situation, a lot of people, they are working from home. So that's why they have that opportunity where they can stay maybe 2 hours from their workplace or 3 hours from their workplace and still work from home without with no need to travel.
Yeah, such a couple of interesting points which I don't want to miss from Jay Bhavsar. No one is considering in any institute opinion the cost of lumber and steel studs went up by 300% and 75%, and no interest rate going up till 2023. Excellent point, Jay. And I'm pretty sure, this point is a lot of relevance that the cost of construction, especially lumber and steel, just because of this pandemic situation, the cost of construction is going too high. And I think we should definitely consider that factor as well. We have our young and Lashika Katyal. Let's see what she's predicting. I don't see it crashing at all. Rather, I see a lot of demand coming as soon as we are out of the COVID situation. Lashika, I think real estate market has proved, COVID or no COVID, market is up. And I think real estate has proven itself. It's a COVID supportive business. But Sachin, I want to put up an interesting point, which has been brought up by Daljit Sidhu. If the average mortgage rates gets to 5.5% in 5 years, we could see house prices fall 40%. Daljit, with due respect, I absolutely disagree with you. First of all, looking into the way Canadian government behaved in last 15 years, I don't see any possibility of the rate of interest going that high in next 5 years. Even Bank of Canada predicted they are not going to increase the rate of interest by 2023. If they will be bringing the rate of interest to 5.5, trust me, that will be the biggest stupid move by the government. And I am not in favor of that.
Right? I would say that would be a blunder.
That would be a blunder. But Sachin, his point is very relevant. And another point, what you mentioned, Daljit, I don't agree that we could see house prices fall by 40%, because I don't think so. That is the behavior of Canadian market. I have shown you all the stats from last 30 years. It actually never happened. Even in the recession of 2008 and 2009, the prices did not come that down. Not only that, in the 2017, when everybody was expecting the market will go down drastically, still it did not happen. If the correction can come, it could be at the max 5%. And I, Sachin, don't call it as a correction. Because what's going to happen is that, like recently we can see, because of the multiple offers, people were getting $100,000 extra for their house. No logic to it. That was not the real price. If the correction can happen in the market, the correction can only be those $100,000, which is 5 to 7% of the property value.
Raman, I always say this, even when it similar situation happened in 2017, people used to think that, after April 23rd, when the government brought in the foreign investment tax, everybody said, my house value has gone down. My house value has gone down. And I used to say that, your house value has not gone down. You are just comparing your value from today's month and the last month. If you see from the December 16 till May 2017, your value has gone up even by 5 to 7% in 4 months. So let's say even if you see that, you know what, my house is selling 50K lesser than the house which got sold a month before, compare your value maybe 4 months before, your house is still selling way higher than the price you had for the same house 4 months before. So it's
Yeah,
not that your house is going down in the value. It's just that another seller got some extra money because of the situation at that time. That's it.
yeah, yeah. And
But
this is just happening because of demand and supply.
something to
Yes, Kamal, please.
something to something to add here. I know everyone is very positive about these things, which will, but what I see, there are a couple of industries which has been massively hit, and which has never been the case in last 15 or 20 years. Like they're almost as a verge of getting wiped off. Like you talk about transportation, you talk about tourism, you talk about hospitality. I mean, there is going to be some impact, like, and they contributed a lot into GDP, and I strongly believe that uh, maybe it will not be a situation that it goes so up, but it is going to have some impact on the incoming years, and there is going to be some impact on real estate too. I strongly believe that, because I can see these industries, they are not doing good. They are not at all in the positive, not at all in positive. The tourism, the hospitality, the transportation. I mean, I've been talking to people, then they give their stories. That's, it's not a very good sign. So I would say maybe not a crash, but yeah, I mean, I see anything between 5 to 10 or maybe 15%. I can see that.
Yeah. Sachin, I got another very relevant point, which is I think is the most important part of the discussion, which is going out these days. Heard that stress test is going higher by May 7th and impact the housing market. Absolutely, Mr. Ahmed, I do agree with you. But let me tell you, that is going to impact the housing market in a positive way. Because what is going to happen uh, if they stress test is already there anyway. So how hard they can make it? They can may bring it back to the previous level which it was there before pandemic. But at that time, that is only just like maybe point one or point two. This could be the only factor. They are not going to say that okay, we're going to qualify you on 6% now rather than 5.2%. Am I right, Sachin?
Raman, I would say that, impact of that trust is not practical. It is more like a sentimental impact, wherein it's just hit the sentiment, and that too for a very small period of time.
Yeah. But Sachin, my only point is I think that would not be a right move. That would not be a favorable move for the first time buyer.
That's right.
Because this is going to be making more hard for them to qualify for the mortgage.
True.
If you want to support the first time buyer, if the government wants to support the first time buyer, they have to make sure they increase the amortization. They bring it from 25 to 30 years. But tell me something, why somebody wants the market to crash? This market gave you everything during pandemic. It actually kept the economy on the whole. I know even Kamal has some relevant points where he is saying that yes, there are some other factors, especially like the challenge in tourism industry, aviation industry, restaurant, food business, and all that stuff. But Kamal, in spite of all those odds, I don't see any big challenge coming onto the real estate market because those factors are very negligible. Tell me something. Now, the way vaccination is happening, I could see this COVID-19 problem is going to be over in next 3 to 6 months maximum. And don't you think all of the jobs, like there are so many people who are sitting inside the houses from last 1 year, all of a sudden, the aviation industry, the tourism industry, the restaurant industry, they're going to start getting 2 to 3 times demand. This will make more positive impact on the market because at that time, the demand all of a sudden is going to be high, much more than normal because people are really don't. Are you not dying to go for vacation, Kamal?
Yeah, definitely. There are so many people, they are planning to visit, travel. But what my concern is that correction is going to take time because it has hard hit the industries. The all the surplus, the positive money has gone of many big organizations. So I believe that correction or the even the industry will improve, but it is going to take little while.
So Kamal, I think I would like to bring my slides up here as well because we have to give our opinion also to all the viewers. So the big question: In my opinion, Kamal, the market is not going to crash. And I'm going to give my logics onto that. Why real estate market won't crash? Let's look at the factors which is going to hold the real estate market. The first and foremost factor, the low rate of interest, is the most favorable situation for the market today, which is only 1.5 to 1.75%. That is the rate of interest which you are getting for your mortgage these days, guys. What could be a better way? What could be a better time than buying the house on such a low rate of interest? The second and most important factor, which is going to put a lot of positive impact on the real estate market, is immigration growth. As Sachin mentioned very clearly, 1.3 million people are going to enter into this beautiful country of dreams in next 3 years. And Kamal, Sachin, you both will agree with me. Immigrants are sitting on airport to come into the country. The moment everything opens up, and right now, because of the vaccination, because of all these positive news, I can see this COVID-19 is getting over in another 3 to 6 months, or at least it has been suppressed by 80 to 90%, which is a very high number. So immigration growth is definitely going to keep the market on the strong footing. My most important point, inventory level, only 2.5 weeks. In spite of 24,000 new houses came up into the market, we are still sitting at not even 1 month inventory. Our inventory level is less than 3 weeks. Against the sale of 15,000 houses, we have just the inventory level of 10,000 houses. Only 10,000 houses. Keep that in mind. And to build up the inventory level on to 2 to 3 months, it is going to take a long time, and this is what is going to keep the market on a very high note. Another important thing, I personally feel government is putting a lot of favorable policies for real estate, uh, especially when they put up the low rate of interest, when they bring those attractive feature for sharing the down payment for the first time buyers. Uh, they brought the stress test down. So many other factors. But yes, right now, if the stress test even go a little bit higher, that is not going to make that major impact on the market, where I can see a price of 10% adjustment. In my opinion, if the market will settle down, it will take that upper portion, will take that craziness where properties were selling in multiple offers and people were paying 50 to $100,000 extra just because of the low supply in the market. So these are very four important factors which I personally think is going to. So Kamal, can you see that?
You're talking about the expression?
Yes. No, Canada's housing market won't crash. And this is not
Okay.
me. This
You
is
have a
saying,
big distraction here, Raman.
thank you guys for joining for today's session. I really, really appreciate that. And it was, and the most important thing, Kamal, you know what? I love the interaction, the participation by so many people over here. And I can see, like, hundreds of remarks over there. Thank you very much, guys. And I would love to hear from you as well. If you like today's session, don't forget to put your comments in the comment section. I'm pretty sure this discussion might have given you a little bit insight. And Kamal, I can see majority of the votes, they were in the favor that market won't crash, except yours and except a couple of people. But I think you got many relevant points out there, and I really appreciate your inputs onto that. And I think Sachin also voted in favor of the market. Kamal, hey, we cannot even think of market going down. So
Okay.
try to understand. Right, guys, if you like today's session, don't forget to share it with others. Don't forget to comment. Don't forget to like our social media page. You can go and like Save Max page. You can go and like my personal page, Rise with Raman. I try to bring a lot of interesting sessions for you. Thank you very much for joining for today. It's sharp at 1 o'clock. We are finishing today's session. And next week, we are going to bring another interesting topic where I would seek your inputs, your suggestions. And if you have any topic in your mind which you want us to talk about, I would love to do so. Have an amazing day, friends. Stay safe. There is a lockdown order. Stay in your houses. Don't spread. the disease, but that doesn't mean we should stop living life. Life keeps going on, my friend. It does not stop. COVID is not something which can stop the beauty of life. Am I right, Kamal?
So we need to spread the positivity, right? Not the COVID positivity, right, Raman?
Absolutely, absolutely.
And
And
if
thank
you're
you,
eligible,
Kanika.
get vaccinated.
Yeah, get vaccinated. Get vaccinated in Save Max Sports Center.
Yes.
Thank you, Kanika. She is becoming a regular viewer. She always joins from India, and I know it's a little odd time over there. A special thanks to you for joining every Saturday, and thank you all for sharing your thought process, your opinion. Have a fantastic day ahead. Enjoy your weekend. Stay safe. Have fun, but don't get out of your house.
Thanks, Raman. Thanks, Achin.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy your weekend, everybody.
Bye bye.